Hello Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for the Cuckoo's Fiancee, Chapter 95. When we last left our heroes, Hiro actually turned around and was able to get permission for the pretend wedding ceremony, even after her parents were kind of opposed after the events of the previous chapter, largely because her father wanted to see her in bridal wear. Kind of a cute beat there. Hiro sort of emphasized that it was Nagi's repairing of their relationship that sort of allowed him to argue anything to her mother. And so the wedding sort of gets underway. Our lovely lovers prepare for the wedding. We see some old baby pictures of Hiro. We get to see Nagi in his formal robes. And then the scene kind of cuts towards Uminote, though first we do get a little bit of Hiro implying that the kiss she gave to Nagi back at the start of Ai's sort of declaration of love she says there's no such thing as a meaningless kiss, sort of leaves Nagi to deal with that on her own. But then we come back to the restaurant. Erika's kind of working there part-time. Sachi's still kind of glum over, wondering what Nagi's up to. Erika calms her down, assuring her there's no way Nagi's doing anything untoward whatsoever with Hiro. And then Sachi goes outside to get the mail, and she gets a letter announcing Nagi and Hiro's marriage, which is maybe not what she wanted in that moment, and is peak troll Hiro. So yeah, with that all that being said, let's dive right on into chapter 95. We have here the new key viz from the anime. I will say, every time I see the anime and I see Hiro have purple hair, I always pictured her as a redhead, and every time I see purple-haired Hiro, I'm just kind of confused. But anyway, here's our cover, 95th Foul. Today, Seigawa-san is undoubtedly the star. But despite that, our picture here is still of Erika, just kind of resting her head on a pillow or something. The pretend wedding ceremony begins. Hiro's bridal wear makes Nagi's heart flutter. We open with the bottom part of that letter. With that joke out of the way, in order to create a wedding ceremony pamphlet for the shrine, we are asking for your cooperation as attendee models. We await your participation. Meguro Myojin Wedding Ceremony Pamphlet Production Committee. Yeah, that right there is just peak Seigawa, peak Hiro troll. There was that bit last week of Hiro's mom, whose name I've forgotten, kind of trolling Nagi with the horse. And it clearly comes from that side of the family, Hiro's kind of prankish streak. Anyway, we see a sort of sign outside for the wedding. Wedding ceremony mock, Umino and Seigawa. We see the shrine, and we see the falling leaves outside the shrine, reinforcing our setting as being the beginning of autumn. And then Papa Seigawa, someone approaches him, probably, I'm guessing, Nagi. But he turns around, oh, looking good, Umino-kun. Now, if that isn't a good look on you. And it's basically the same robe we saw last week, I think. I'm not quite familiar enough with Japanese wedding attire to be able to make out the particularities that there is a difference between last week's robe and this one's, though I doubt it, given the content of last week. My only real experience with a traditional Japanese-style wedding, even in pictures, is Naruto's wedding at the end of Shippuden. So I know very little about this sort of thing. Anyway, Nagi sort of scratches his neck. Please spare me. You're making me nervous. And Papa Seigawa shouts, I'll be flexing my muscles too today, as the cameraman! And Nagi just watches him. Will everything be okay? And then someone calls over, Chief Priest, the bride has finished her preparations. There's an interesting bit, though, is that the Chief Priest line is heavily implied to be referring to Papa Seigawa. But as we learned during his flashback a couple chapters ago, the shrine runs in his wife's family. And I was kind of wondering if he took the Seigawa name as sort of a sign of, because he mentioned that he married into her family, and I, again, don't have the Japanese cultural context to really know what that looks like in practice, but I did kind of have the impression that Seigawa might be the traditional name of the shrine, and so But if that's the case, wouldn't his wife then be the chief priest? I don't know. I know nothing about traditional shrines. If anyone does, please feel free to like give me a lecture in the comments if you wanna. Anyway, chief priest. The bride has finished her preparations. Nagi looks over, and we see Hiro silhouetted by like the sun behind her, and the leaves all falling over her. And we get this 2-page spread of Hiro in her robe. She has this kind of hood thing over her head. I'm not quite sure what the cultural significance of the hood is. But, you know, it's a money shot among money shots there. The only thing, and, you know, it's the same kind of trick we saw from time to time in the elopement arc of, like, everything in the background fades away. The only thing Nagi really has eyes for is Hiro. And the falling leaves, which are just kind of an aesthetic touch also. But yeah, Nagi is, of course, over the moon. I imagine. Or, no, he's sort of stunned silent, actually. Just kind of taken aback. And Hiro smiles at him. And Nagi just turns away a blushing, sweaty mess. Papa Segua runs over to her. Hiro! In this big wide world, you're the most beautiful! And Hiro just stops him. Oh, come on, Dad. It's not that big a deal. And Nagi is stunned. I can't. She's so beautiful, I'm speechless! Yeah, that's peak Nagi vibe here. And Papa Segua is still just crying. Why? Why won't it focus? He's trying to like focus, get shots on the camera, but his tears are kind of blocking it. As Mama Segua, whose name might have been, is it Atsuko? I know we learned it like very briefly a while back, if I'm not mistaken. Asumi was her name. My bad. Thank you. Quick flipping through 93 to get there. So yeah, Asumi just sort of scolds him. Is it because you're crying that much? Good grief. I can't believe you can't even take a decent picture. You really can't do anything but sumo. And Papa Segua is sort of, you know, like mockingly hurt by that. Given what we know about the relationship now, it feels much more like a kind of Manzai comedy routine almost. If I'm understanding Manzai right. Which I might not be, again. Very, very American here. But yeah, we see, you know, Papa Segua in mock pain at that. And Asumi turns around. I haven't given my permission yet, you hear? Even if you take those photos, I never said you can use them in the pamphlet. And Hiro presses, oh, come on, Mom. Papa Segua sort of moves on. Right then, you two. Line up right in front of the main building. Umino-kun, get closer. Right. And we see, Nagi definitely seems like he's a little bit nervous to get close to her, given, you know, the whole, like, he's getting kind of cold feet to go through with his fake wedding. But then Hiro says, since we're getting married, Umino-kun might sound strange. Nagi-san. And Nagi is just fully taken aback by that. Hiro-san? He can, like, barely manage to get it out. And Hiro just laughs. You're blushing too much, Nagi-san. And then someone else arrives. I'm guessing it's either going to be Erika or Ai. Because it's clearly one of the other girls, and I don't think Sachi's going to be that sort of dramatic about this. Wait, what? Oh no! This is totally Japanese style! Oh, it is Erika. And she's in a kind of traditional, or a very European, Western style dress. Did I pick the wrong dress for this? And Nagi's just shocked. Amino-san! And Hiro's very excited here. Erika-chan, you came! Hiro-chan, you're so pretty! And then, I'm not quite sure given the next panel, I think this is Nagi's line. Wait a second. Why a white dress? And Erika's just kind of taken aback. Huh? Can I not? And Nagi tells her, because white is reserved for the bride. I don't believe Erika doesn't know that. I 100% do not believe Erika does not know that. Like, all Erika's actions here seem kind of fake. Like, she goes to a mock wedding at a traditional Japanese shrine, and she's like, shocked the wedding is in Japanese style. All right. And, you know, fashion queen Erika doesn't know that white is a bridal color at weddings. You know, and again, can't quite speak for Japanese-style weddings, though given Nagi's lines, he's clearly talking about a Japanese-style wedding. that is definitely the case at a European-style wedding, which was definitely what her intention was, if her initial claim is to be believed. Erika, she's, there's a kind of manipulative vibe to this dress, I think. But we have this, shot of Erika, and I'm trying to get a read on it. If she's genuinely as shocked as she, I think wants Nagi to believe, or if there's kind of a lie attached to it. And she gives this goofy little face, "Cheese, forgive me." And Hiro, breaks down laughing. "I thought it was just a party." Yeah, right, Erika. Okay. Anyway, Nagi just watches it say, "Was something that was funny?" And then Erika then responds, "But this is nice, isn't it? A wedding. I hope I'll get my chance too someday." And we have a sort of, not quite the full-on money shot we got with Hiro's bridal robes, but it definitely is that kind of shot of, the focus here is all on Erika. Though, unlike that earlier shot, the background is not faded out here. We still see the temple in the background. And Nagi's kind of blushing there. This is definitely the kind of chapter you can, make of what you will. This seemed like the moment where, I can't imagine Ai not doing the exact same thing Erika did. Though if Ai does, I'm going to actually think maybe Erika was innocent. And part of the joke is, Erika was genuinely confused. And I definitely would know what she's doing here. That's the kind of person Ai is. If and when she shows up. Anyway, Hiro jumps on that. "I want to go to your wedding too." And Erika agrees, "Yeah, you have to." And Nagi just looks away thinking, "I wonder who they're imagining getting married to, though." Wouldn't you like to know, Nagi boy? And then a shrine attendant comes by. "Well then, next we will be taking photos of the ceremony. If you two would please move to the waiting room." And Erika just sort of asks, "I can just wait right here, right?" Hiro tells her, we prepared a surprise for you while you wait, too." And yeah, there's a stage, a bright spotlight on the stage. Well, given that silhouette, that's definitely not, a European-style dress. It looks kind of, what's the traditional Chinese-style dress? Like a cheongsam, I think it's called. I might be butchering that pronunciation. Please feel free to correct me in the comments if it's needed. But yeah, there is no way in hell that's not Ai. Ladies and gentlemen of the audience, thank you for attending today's mock wedding ceremony. Nagi also instantly recognized what's going on here. Huh? Rather than leave you to make small talk between acts, Mochizuki Ai is here to help. And she's admittedly not wearing anything that could be mistaken for a bridal outfit. Even in black and white, that's clearly still too dark to really fit that vibe. But it's definitely a little how do I put this? Well, Nagi, let's let Nagi describe it. Her entrance is upstaging the bride. So I think definitely Hiro invited Ai here. Obviously, it's a bit of a jab at Ai, given what Ai pulled in the news media, and then Ai's not letting that insult go lying down either. Anyway, Ai starts to sing "Unforgivable," getting ahead. I won't allow it. There's just no subtlety on display here at all. Nagi's just shocked, and she's singing a song about jealousy. But Hiro stops her. Ai-san, we're just taking photos here, so you really don't have to sing. But Ai counters, I won't stand for things to be done half-baked. The performance after this is dedicated to Nagi-chan. Nagi's sort of taking the back there. Okay. And he thinks, when Ai-chan stands on that stage, her presence is incredible. And Nagi's also taking the back there. And Hiro has to get his attention. She's not happy with this either. Umino-kun, it's time to start the ceremony. Right. And then we see, they have some mock attendees. The ceremony's getting ready to start. Ai's off the stage. Erika and Ai are sitting together. And Erika looks around. Whoa! So shrine weddings happen right at the place of worship? Excuse me. And Ai agrees, it sure is exciting. and then turns to Erika. Come to think of it, where's Sachi-chan? Well, you see, she couldn't come today because she had a mock exam. Alright. She's not upset or anything. She shouldn't be upset or anything because that's her fucking brother. But we all know what series we're reading at this point. And we have this flashback of Sachi telling Erika, you know I have exams, right? I see. And the Sachi flashback continues. I mean, it's none of my business. Then there's a noise. Erika and I both turn to look at it. And we see presenting the bride and groom. Nagi and Hiro approach the I guess it's an altar together. That we see not like Hiro is all sort of reserved and kind of really getting into the role. Nagi is just a blushing mess. He is kind of uncomfortable. Erika looks, wow! Papa Seiko just snapping his photos. Let's go, Hiro! You're the best! And Asumi just sort of at him. And Nagi thinks as the two of them approach the altar, at last, the time has come. And Hiro sort of laughs at Nagi. It's just a pretend wedding, but it still makes you nervous. And Nagi agrees, it does. But today, Seigo-san is undoubtedly the star. And for me to be standing right across from her, and then I guess the officiant, or whatever the proper term is, says, and now you may kiss the bride. And Nagi should be prepared for this, given what happened last week, but I'm curious if he is. Erika sure wasn't. Huh? They're doing it? And one of the attendants tells Erika, we wanted to do a Reiwa-style shrine wedding. And I'm curious what exactly a Reiwa-style shrine wedding means. I mean, it's definitely, like, the Reiwa era is only, 4 years old or so, it's definitely, a modern era. I've noted in the past how much this show sort of seems to own that title of being this, big show of the Reiwa era. You know, back when the first volume got published, it was, fastest selling first volume of the Reiwa era. It's obsession of, when it's set. You can, practically follow along with the dates from time to time. So, it feels very much in line with Cuckoo to make a big deal about it being a Reiwa-style shrine wedding. I also just don't know what that means. Is part of the concept there that, traditional shrine weddings didn't involve kissing the bride, but because the Reiwa era is this new, kind of more modern, in a sense, era, that, they're sort of including that as a sign of modernity, perhaps? I'm not sure at all. But even Erika's confused at that. A what? And then sort of says to herself, well, I guess it wouldn't be much of a wedding without one, would it? And I pouts, I can't support this. And we see Hiro, maybe acting calmer than she is, but she's clearly presenting this kind of calm face. Nagi's not. Nagi is a blushing mess here. And Erika kind of angrily notes, Nagi-kun's eyes are bulging like crazy. And Ai hides her face. Even if it's just pretend, I still can't bear to watch. And Nagi thinks, I wonder if somehow, someday, I might see this day come for real. And as their lips approach, Sachi bursts open the fucking doors. What the fuck are you doing, Sachi? What the fuck are you doing, Sachi? Calling out, wait! Don't take him away from me! Not my big brother! And the chapter ends with Nagi and Hiro are both shocked. Nagi lets out a Sachi, and we get our blurb. The siblings meet again at last, but in an unexpected way. Next time, Nagi's decision. Oh boy. Okay. You were so close, Yoshikawa. We were so close. Alright, let's talk about the first 18 pages, I think. That's my starting point. Because there's a lot of fun stuff here. Up until page 19. It clearly is, Hiro on some levels kind of wants to gloat. Specifically to Ai, I think, after all the shit Ai pulled. Which is why, she sort of stops Ai. You don't really have to sing Ai. I brought you here to make fun of you. Ai isn't really big on that, but I do love that kind of dynamic between Ai and Hiro. We haven't had a lot of them together. We had their bit at the festival, and And then we know that somehow Hiro was caught up in Ai's plan to rescue Nagi and Erika. But we haven't seen a lot of their dynamic, especially post love announcement. And I just kind of really enjoy Hiro kind of putting Ai down, especially after all this shit Ai's pulled. You know, get in your lane, Ai. You're kind of new here. You're like the childhood friend, but like whatever. Everyone knows the childhood friend never wins these things. But yeah, there's also some other fun things here. The reveal of Erika's dress, and it's sort of like, is that an intentional thing? To not let, as I put it, Hiro get too far ahead. Or is it genuine? Like I can't buy this is some kind of slip up. Like, there's no way Erika Amino would fuck that up. That doesn't seem like her in the slightest. Maybe it's just like Yoshikawa wants an attempt to like draw a Western style wedding dress. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what's going on in her head when she's writing that. Because I don't believe Erika's that much of a ditz. But also, it doesn't like if the scene went on, and Erika, for one thing, I can't really imagine Erika at her, back when I thought we were much further ahead, and Erika realizing her feelings for Nagi, I could see Erika maybe pulling this. But given how little she's come to understand about herself, specifically in terms of this relationship, it does seem a little odd for her to be doing this to sort of stake a claim in Nagi, in the way I absolutely is. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on there, because again, I also don't buy that Erika wouldn't know exactly what's going on here. So I just don't know. I don't know. There's something going on with Erika. It might, again, just be an attempt for Yoshikawa to like draw a wedding dress. And it's a well-designed wedding dress, as far as that goes. But yeah, then we have, the actual ceremony, and there's some fun stuff there. It's just sort of cute. I'm again, not really a Nagi Hiro shipper, but I do kind of like their dynamic. And there's some fun stuff here. And then Sachi comes to ruin it. So we'll see. I just don't like it. I mean, my thoughts on Sachi are well documented. I've been covering this series for about 2 years now. It's hard to imagine if anyone watching these videos does not know that, like, I'm not a Sachi fan in any way, shape, or form. So I guess we'll have to wait till next week to see what all comes of this next. But, we had a real good chapter for a while. And then Sachi. So, I don't know. Here's hoping next chapter can salvage something from Sachi blowing everything up. But until then, I'm going to leave this video off here. Hope you'll enjoy the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe or, do whatever makes you happy, And as always, your life is your own, okay? Bye!